Thunderstorms in flight over the Netherlands provides a nighttime spectacle.
Oh, look at that. See that? Yeah, spectacular.
But then an intermittent alternator failure grabs our focus.
We have a Alternator 2 intermittent failure. We're going to be route direct from current position to Echo Bravo, Oscar Sierra.
And if that wasn't interesting enough, how about an ILS approach to minimums?
That was fun. That was really good fun.
Join me for a rather busy evening of flying. I'm spending a day with Robbie from Echelon Air based at Biggin Hill. The company is a Cirrus training centre, but they also manage customers' aircraft, and today we're flying to Antwerp in Belgium and Lübeck in Germany. Echelon's clients are selling their aircraft and they need to be photographed for the listing. I'm tagging along for the ride, but I'm also here to film some footage so Echelon can publish some reels to help sell the aeroplanes. All the flying was IFR and so darn easy by the looks of it. Robbie files a flight plan, calls up for clearances and then follows ATC instructions. None of this own navigation stuff that I have to do when VFR or using my restricted instrument rating, and the day is making me want my full IR more than ever. At Antwerp we filmed and photographed this SR22 and then hopped over to Lübeck near Hamburg. En route, passing directly overhead Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, one of the world's busiest. At Lübeck we photographed and filmed this luxury Phenom jet. It was an exceptionally busy day, there was barely any time for anything to eat or drink, and when we were finally done the sun was beginning to set, just in time for our departure back home.
Hello, good evening. November 123 Victor Papa with Bravo 1014, requesting stop.
November 123 Victor Papa, Tower, hello. Information Bravo, correct, and start of approved.
Start approved. November 123 Victor Papa, ready to copy. Clearance IFR back to Biggin Hill.
That's 5,000 feet. Yeah, clear to Biggin Hill via Hamburg 1 Alpha departure route and squawk 1124.
5,000 feet, clear to Biggin, Hamburg 1 Alpha departure, squawk 1124, November 123 Victor Papa.
Correct.
So I'm going to edit this flight quite brutally actually, I just want to get straight to the point. Unbeknown to me until now, there's a pretty heavy storm directly on our flight planned route. Robbie has been watching it while I've been filming. He's confident that we'll be able to route around it with the help of ATC, so I'm curious to see how it all works out.
November Victor Papa, wind 120 degrees, do not runway 07, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff runway 07, Victor Papa.
Nice flight, goodbye.
Yeah, airspeed are low, T's and P's are green.
The route back is going to take us over 3 hours. We've got a headwind and we're going to have to make a fairly significant deviation. As the sun sets, we can make out the storm clouds ahead.
I can already see that storm cell actually. Yeah, see the anvil on it. Yeah. So let's start preparing to go around that. I don't much like the look of that.
Now there's no way that you'd catch me doing this in my Arrow trying to route around a thunderstorm like this at night, but the Cirrus here has satellite weather which Robbie requests. You can download a snapshot which shows us exactly where the thunderstorm is. This will help us as it gets darker and when we can no longer see the towering cumulonimbus clouds with the naked eye.
German from November 123 Victor Papa, we're getting quite a bit of weather on this trek. Could we possibly take a 15 degrees right deviation?
Of course, turn right by 15.
15, thank you sir.
That was easy. Yeah, they're very good.
November Victor Papa, do you have an estimated track mark for how long you need that heading?
We can just see the top of a cumulus ahead and we're only a little aeroplane, so if we could hold this for the next kind of 30 minutes or so, that'd probably get us past it.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're very good European controllers. And we've got our thunderstorm off to the left here. Yeah, probably about 20 miles, maybe a bit more. I don't think I'd want to do this without all the technology. No, it's certainly... you could look at Windy and get an idea. Problem with that is, yeah, by the time you actually get to it, it could have moved a fair amount. Yeah. Whereas this is satellite, and it'll just request an update. We requested it once about 20 minutes ago, but you know,
we can see it really.
Yeah, the sun hasn't quite gone down yet, so we've been quite lucky. But I mean, the distance we have from it, we're not getting any static on the radio. We haven't felt a single bump of turbulence yet. We've been very lucky with the sun setting at the right time. But we prepared for it, right? So we knew long before we got here we were going to be diverting to the right, slightly north of where we'd flight planned to be to get around this. Well, that was a good one. It's amazing how active some of these cells can be. Every few seconds another load.
Oh, look at that. See that?
Yeah, spectacular.
Apologies if you can hear the music in the background, by the way. It was a long flight and Robbie had put his playlist on into our headsets.
November 123 Victor Papa, contact now Amsterdam 134 375, goodbye.
134 375, Amsterdam, thank you, help Victor Papa. Amsterdam, good evening, November 123 Victor Papa, maintaining flight level 120 and maintaining heading 275 for now, due weather reports.
November Victor Papa, hello, continue the heading, report when able for left turn.
Continue heading for now and we'll go, thank you, Victor Papa.
Actually, I'd underestimated the distance from the storm. Robbie confirmed that it was actually 50 miles away. Things are harder to judge when the sun goes down. We didn't have any turbulence at all, but the radio did start crackling a bit. I'm glad we still had some daylight to make out the cloud though. The technology would have kept us clear, but it's comforting to be able to see exactly where the storm clouds are. In fact, this Cirrus even has an infrared camera that can detect the clouds at night, not that we needed to use it today. Approximately 2¼ hours into the trip, about 40 miles northwest of the city of Groningen, just as we put the storm behind us, a warning popped up on the primary flight display.
Alt 2.
This Cirrus has 2 alternators and usually is powered by alternator 2. This was now indicating that it was not producing any current. You can see it's highlighted yellow and is showing 0 amps. Alternator 1 has kicked in and taken over the load. Since we're flying at night and have hard instrument meteorological conditions at Biggin Hill where we're heading, this is somewhat of a concern. Moments later though, the alternator came back online again.
Okay. Just dropped down back on again. As a sensor issue, I think it just dropped down like that.
If you look closely at the instrument panel, you'll see that a few minutes later the flight displays dim and then we get the warning again. Moments later, just as before, the alternator came back online once more.
Well, if we do lose it, we do have 2 alternators, each of which will maintain us. We'll shed load if we have to, but should we fly with one alternator? I think it's a sensor, because it's jumping down to 0 then coming back again.
But for more than half an hour we went through this cycle over and over again. Robbie went through the checklist, we turned off non-essential items and tried to troubleshoot.
It's not happy, is it?
Right, there's alternator 2 again.
What's 1 doing?
So 1 will pick up the slack.
We go through worst case scenarios. I try to help as best I can. Robbie's a far more qualified and experienced pilot than me, but I think having 2 people in the cockpit talking it through doesn't hurt. We don't know what's causing this electrical problem at the end of the day. Yeah, we have redundancy at the moment with the second alternator working fine, but what if the problem affecting alternator 2 causes a secondary problem, or what if alternator 1 fails?
Even if we lose bus 2, we keep the PFD, we lose the MFD, we'll switch everything over to there.
If I was to lose my single alternator in my Arrow at night with IMC ahead, I'd probably be declaring a pan. Because the Cirrus has 2 alternators, of course it's not such a big deal, but I was getting concerned that our current flight plan takes us on a substantial water crossing.
We've got ourselves quite a long sea crossing, haven't we, that would be more than 30 minutes.
Yep, left turn 210, Scandinavian 1.
That was my only thought.
Yeah, okay, so why don't we change the sea crossing?
Amsterdam, good evening.
Stay over land. I'll only add another half hour to the flight. Maybe we just continue down here and cut across.
Yeah.
Amsterdam, November 123 Victor Papa with you and with a request please.
November 123 Victor Papa, good evening, continue.
Good evening. We have a alternator 2 intermittent failure, so in order to keep us over water for the least time possible, could we route direct from current position to Echo Bravo, Oscar Sierra, then to Lima Foxtrot Alpha Charlie?
123 Foxtrot Papa, that's copied. And the first waypoint, is it to the left or to the right?
It's a slight left turn by about 10 degrees.
It's approved.
The The Flying Reporter YouTube channel is supported by Echelon Air, who I'm flying with today, and also AOPA UK. AOPA is the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association based at Kemsing near Sevenoaks. One piece of work AOPA has done recently is to compile a database of all UK registered aircraft and whether they can run on unleaded fuel. AOPA members and non-members can search the database. Why not take a look and see if unleaded fuel is suitable for your aircraft? A link to the database is on the screen and in the video description. We're over the Netherlands, heading for Belgium en route to Biggin Hill near London, and we've been getting an intermittent warning about one of our two alternators. We aren't sure whether it's an indication fault or a real alternator failure, and we were considering whether we should divert and land. It's night and there's bad weather ahead. But suddenly the warnings stopped, the alternator started behaving itself, and we continue to England.
Descend hello, November 123 Victor Papa, descending 6,000 through 6,400, requesting continued descent.
Number 123 Victor Papa, 7 for Q, descent to altitude 4,000 feet, digging QNH 1012, and fly heading 295.
295, continue to 4,01012, November 123 Victor Papa.
And November 3 Victor Papa, the information is now Echo at Biggin, the visibility 3,000 metres in mist, and the cloud's broken at 300 feet. I believe they've already set the runway lights to maximum intensity.
So with the clouds broken at 300 feet, this is going to be very close to the ILS minimums. Robbie's plan, if we have to make a missed approach, is to try one more time at Biggin Hill, and then if that doesn't work, we're going to go to Southend. And this is where the Cirrus really came into its own with its impressive tech. The autopilot flies us smoothly down the ILS, while Robbie and I peer into the void in front of us.
Biggin approach, line November 123 Victor Papa, fully established on the ILS 4 miles.
Number 123 Victor Papa, Biggin approach, good evening. And just before I clear you to land, as you break through the cloud, if you need me to turn the lighting intensity down, just let me know. Surface wind 1907 knots, runway 21, clear to land.
Clear to land, thank you very much, Walco, and November 123 Victor Papa.
We broke out of the cloud at 400 feet.
Visual.
So we are home, but this has been an extremely busy flight with lots going on. Robbie and the Cirrus, though, have taken it all in their stride.
November Victor Papa is now visual with the runway if you want to turn us down.
Well done, Robbie.
That was fun, wasn't it, boys, eh?
Good practice.
Yeah, it's
Lots thrown at us there, really.
yeah, it was thunderstorms, small failure, ILS down to minimums, but the team handled it well.
Thanks for sticking with the video all the way to the end. You get extra Flying Reporter brownie points for that. It was my pleasure to fly with Robbie and to put this aeroplane to great use to get the job done. It really helps me if you subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and why not check out another of my episodes? A suggested video is showing on the screen for you. Until I see you next time, fly safely, my friends.